What's up, nail friends? Jenny is back. She had this set on for about 5 weeks. There is a video up of the set. She sent me this picture. So if you look closely, it is a glitter fade with acrylic. I'm going to be using aqua stardust because it has little moons in it as well as stars, and it's the right color. And then I'm also going to add Pluto as well for that iridescent shine. So I'm just going to file Jenny's nails down with my e-file. The bit I'm using here is a carbide bit, so I'm just going to use this to debulk most of the color and bring it back down to a thin base. This video will be in real time. I'll just delete anything that was out of frame or blurry and show you guys the rest. So after filing that down thin, I'm going to file all the other nails. First, I'm just shortening them. I'm not shaping them at all. This is not my finished shape. I'm just shortening them to debulk the nails, and then I will use a hand file in a bit to reshape the nails before applying my acrylic again. But first, I'm just taking this color down. And filing down, I'm just filing and I'm holding the finger because it can sometimes slip right here. And then I'm just going down, lifting up my e-file down, lifting it up. So I'm not going up and down, except when you see me quickly jiggle that, and that's just because I got caught for a sec. But I'm just using a gentle pressure to debulk the nail, and then I'm shortening it and just filing this down thin. So that's basically it. Don't touch the natural nail at all with this carbide bit. This is just to remove the acrylic and thin it out. I'm going to use a cuticle tool to push the skin back gently and expose what's on the nail plate that needs to come up and off before applying acrylic. Turning my tool around, and I'm using the scrapey end to just get some of that skin loose that's on the nail plate, because you have to remove all that before applying acrylic because it just won't stick to skin or dust or anything. It needs to be a nice, dry, clean nail plate. So I'm just scraping that up. And then I will use my hand file to shape the nails. So I have a 180 grit file and my metal file board, and I'm just going under and up to bring up the sidewalls, because after 5 weeks they definitely start to like droop down a little bit. So I'm just bringing them up and then thinning out. I'm trying to make it more of like a tapered almond shape. So that's what we're doing here. Pulling the skid back when I go close to the side here. I'm going back and forth from the right to the left so I don't make one side too thin and then not be able to replicate it or anything. So I just go back and forth, try to make it nice and even. And I'm just going to continue to do that on all these nails, and then we can finish our prep. I'm just going in with a tool around the cuticle area to get up that skin. I'm pulling her skin back with my fingers. Anyways, this tool is a diamond tool from Erica's ATA. I will link the bit kit I've got from there. So I'm just pulling the skin back to get into the sidewalls, just being gentle. This bit feels really nice because it's just a nice gentle bit. So I'm just carefully removing that skin because we want this to last the set, since Jenny can go 4 or 5 weeks with her nail sets. So you want to make sure that there's no skin on the nail plate. So that's what we're doing here. I'm trying to blend the natural nail with her enhancement here and remove some of that lifting. So that's what I am doing. This will also file thin, get rid of that lifting there, and help me get a more smooth, even file. I'm just scrubbing the nails, all the dust off. And then I'm scrubbing with a scrub brush that has alcohol on it to try to get even more of the dust out in case there's any like missing pieces I missed while scrubbing them. This is what her nails look like before. Okay, and then the color I'm going in with is Pinkerball Cover, but I also mixed it with Plush Cover. So I'm almost out of Pinkerball Cover, but I have enough, so I mixed it with Plush to kind of create my own color, because I really like Pinkerball a lot. It's my favorite, but I'm out of it. Like, I'm almost out of it, so I decided to mix and create kind of like a soft mix of the two. So I already primed and dehydrated. And now I'm just using my size 10 brush to pick up the mix, pull her skin back. You can see I'm pulling her skin back to get into the sidewalls and get close. So I cleaned off my brush and then I pull the skin, get in really close, wipe your brush off, and then pull this down the nail. So you don't want to get product on the skin. You just want to get it on the nail. And so you want to be really careful around the cuticle area and the sidewalls. So I place that bead, pushing in, pushing close, wiping off my brush to make sure there's less product and monomer on my brush. I don't want anything to stick to my brush. I don't want it to be too wet. So I clean my brush there so I get into the sidewall. Try to get it even without overlapping the skin. And then I'm just fading that down. I'm pulling the skin back, wiped off my brush, and then using the corner of my brush to fix my mistake. And then I'm just doing this on all of these nails because this is actually a super easy and simple design that she wanted, just nude with glitter. So pretty easy, but how you get there, showing you all the steps. Again, I'm applying, pushing towards the sidewalls, wiping. Don't wipe the skin, just wipe the product. And then blending that down, cleaning off my brush. Okay, glitter time. So again, I said I was using Aqua Stardust. So that's kind of got a blue tint to it. And then it's got all these iridescent glitters in it. You can see it has some silver. It has like see-through stuff. It has hearts, butterflies, stars, and moons. It's so cute. So I kind of go digging for the moons. There's one there. And I just wanted to make sure that the moons were front and center so you guys could see them, because that was like the cutest part of the design was having the moons there. And yeah, just remove any of the glitters you don't really like. So I saw that big kind of one that was reflecting orange. I didn't like that, it was too big. And so I'm just going to fix my moon. And you guys can see I added the stars. I'm going to leave that before going in with more. And here I am. You can see there's a butterfly on this one. Just placing the product down. And then you just move the glitter where you want it. So Jenny already had nude and like white under her nails because of her natural nail growth, and she's done a couple like ombre sets and stuff. So she does have that like nice natural nail look underneath. So if you have like colored acrylic or something, you'd probably see it. So I didn't have to go in with white or anything because she kind of had that natural ombre going on. So you might have to add your nude all the way to the tip or put a color underneath if you do have colored acrylics on before and you didn't just go from like nude. So here I am. I'm moving that heart around because I want it to be upright. And then I'm just patting the product into place. I don't want it to be too thick in any spot. I want it to be kind of even. So when I encapsulate and everything and I finish file, nothing gets like pulled up. There's a little butterfly. So cute. And so they have a bunch of these Stardust glitter balls. There's a bunch of different colors. They're all just subtly tinted. So it's really fun to play with these colors because you could just get one of them and they go with like a lot of stuff because they have a lot of stuff in them. They're really pretty. And they also have tiny fine glitters. Yeah, they're great. After everything is done and dry, I'm going to encapsulate these. So I'm picking up a bead of clear glass slippers. I've placed that down. This is her pinky finger, and I'm holding the sides of her skin. I'm going to pull them back. I'm pushing up towards the cuticle area, dabbing it, and my brush was a little wet, so I'm wiping off my brush. I don't want product to stick to my brush, so I'm wiping it off. And then getting it close to the cuticle area, and then creating my apex, and then patting and pulling the product over the glitter, patting gently, trying to make it really even on the tip because you don't want to have too little product on the tip or your tip you'll probably just file off the glitter. You really don't want to file off the glitter. So make sure you have enough product covering your tip as well as an apex built. I always check from the side, see if I need any more, and I am adding a little tiny bit more where the apex needs to be. I'm just squished that down and then blended it down. Okay, so let's see that again on the middle finger here. I shook my clear to make sure there was no deep divots from when I was grabbing product. Just makes it easier to grab your product if your clear or whatever color you're using has been shaken quickly before. And place this down, pull the skin back, get close to the sidewalls. Don't touch the skin, but get as close as you can. And then I'm just pulling off the product and pulling it down. And then I'm patting it with the belly of my brush at the tip to get that even fullness. I'm doing really light strokes. I'm really not taking like I don't have a heavy hand. I'm not trying to pull the product off. I'm just trying to move it down the nail. And I had applied that a little wet, so I definitely had to move it quicker. So I'm picking up some more product, placing that down. This is where I'm building my apex. I feel like I should have changed my paper towel. That's probably what my problem was. I was applying a little too wet and then not able to wipe my brush off as easily. So make sure that you always have a clean and dry paper towel so you don't have a super wet brush. And then after I've applied everything, I'm going to show you guys what this looks like. That's what it looks like after application. And then this is what both hands look like before finish filing. So far the shape is pretty good, but I'm going to go in and refine the shape and make it more even and tapered. So I'm going in with a carbide around the cuticle area, underneath the nail, and over top. I'm not trying to get rid of my apex. I'm just trying to thin out everything. You can see not a lot of product is going to come off, not a lot of dust or anything, because I'm not using a lot of pressure. I'm just trying to debulk gently before finish filing. It just makes it easier on your wrists. So I'm just going down. I'm trying to thin out the sides, especially when you're doing like almond shaped nails. You don't want bulky sides. You want them to be thin and slender to make it look like she has nice long nail beds. Jenny does have nice long nail beds, but that's like the look you're going for. I'm going under here. I'm looking at this nail. What do I need to file? I need to file the sides around the cuticle area, gently over the apex, down the side to thin that out, thin out the tip, thin out the sides because we don't want bulky sides, but keep our apex in place. And again, you don't want to use a lot of pressure because you don't want to file into your glitter and ruin a star or a moon or a butterfly, right? So just gentle, and then we're going to go in and use this tool that I go in at the cuticle area and the sidewalls. It's a great bit. I love this bit. It's nice and thin. It's gentle. And then I also use this to flip the hand over and clean underneath. I just really like this tool. It's been a helpful tool, so I highly recommend. And again, I got this from Erica's ATA. Okay, so after that, I'm going to flip her hand, and I'm just going to gently use this underneath to make sure there's no like lip or anything that needs to come up. She has nothing really too much to clean up under here, but that's what we're going to do, especially this finger. You can see there's a piece there, so I got that out. Okay, and then I'm going to go and finish file by hand. So today I was using my metal file board, and I put 180s on it. So normally I would do a 180 and a 150, but I decided just to do 180, which I found was a mistake. I found it just made me end up taking a little longer to do my finish filing routine, and my wrists were a little sore. So I definitely I felt a difference. So when I finish file, I go around the cuticle area. I'm going up the one side here and then around gentle. I always score my files before I start, so you can go around the cuticle area with them. Just stay a little bit further back just so you're not cutting your client. And then I'm going over the tip, going back onto the one side, going underneath and up, and trying to slim out that tip to make sure it's nice and tapered. You don't want to file too much on the sides though, because you don't want to file away her natural nail. Yeah, so it's kind of, you just kind of have to look and make sure and pull the skin back on the sides. I feel like if I used my 150 grit file, I would have had a little bit of an easier time shaping these, and it would have been faster. But that's yeah, sometimes you do things and you're like, I could have done this better. That's why I like filming and showing you guys everything. So yeah, that's what we're going to do here. Just finish file with our hand file and our metal file board. And then I do like to go over everything that I just did with another hand file. So more flexible hand file. So the metal file boards are not very flexible. They're great for doing like coffin shape and like super sharp nails, but they're not as flexible because it's a metal file board. So I do like to go over everything with my more flexible file just to make sure I got everything nice and even and smooth. So I'm going to be using a Glitter Balls number 240 grit file to do the rest of my finish filing with. And then after that, I use a buffer. So I do like to finish file and make sure they're really smooth. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going around the cuticle area with this, basically doing everything I just did, but with a different file. And it's so fine that it's not really going to like change the shape or anything. It's just going to refine everything you did and get rid of any scratches or anything like that. After all that, I look at the nails and I try to check them to see if there's anything that needs to be refined and filed so that they're nice and even. And then I brush off the dust, and then I use, again, alcohol and dust brush to really get rid of all that dust in the cuticle area. And here's what they look like. They're so pretty. I'm going to go in with top coat. So no wipe top coat. Just going to apply this all over the nail, and you're going to see all that pretty shiny glitter. So pretty. Just a simple glitter fade. So pretty. And here is how they look before I even put them in the light, and I cured for 2 minutes, and here's how they look. Look how shiny they are. Oh my gosh. I'm using Glitterbell's cuticle oil, applying that down, rub that in. I'm going to have her wash her hands, and then I'll show you guys what they look like with both cameras outside. So shiny, so pretty outside, and then also with my cell phone camera. So you can kind of see the lighting looks a little different and the different cameras. So what do you guys think? Let me know down below. I love this set. They look so elegant on Jenny's hands. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.